Oh, now I lost my place.
Let's hope for the best. Never mind these weird, ugly looking. That's not bad, although I missed the hole a little bit, and I managed to plug up my nozzle again. Brilliant. It's slow going when you don't know what you're doing. Whew. I'm telling you, it's quite the process. This is not Legos, and this is not an erector set, for those who are old enough to know what that is. Fire in the hole. Yeah, I don't think that did anything at all. I don't know how much more improved we're going to get on the car because the conditions are a little bit different, but changing out that wire, at least on the table, has created a significant improvement in the look of the weld as well as the penetration. If you can see right down in there, that weld is solid all the way across, and the penetration is at least a ½ inch back. I'm really happy with this. I'm hoping that that's all that needed to be changed, was the thickness of the wire and fresh consumables. And I'm hopeful that this will go better on the car than it did last week. So this is what I'm talking about right here. This edge right here, all the way across, is much better than it was last week. Again, I don't know if it's because I'm on a clean table or if it was changing out the 3.5 to the 3.0 with this machine. Again, I'm not running on 220, I'm only running on 110, even though it's a 20 amp breaker. So right now I have the machine set at 100, and this definitely looks a lot better than how it did last week. I don't remember where the other one was that I did. I don't think it was that one. It might have been that one, but definitely there. Oh, now I lost my place. Here, definitely here's better. Much improved from last week. So I think what I'm gonna do, even though I've sprayed primer on the piece, is first I'm gonna go back to the side that is terrible and see with this change what that's gonna do for me on that side. And if it looks better on that side, then I'll be fine. If it's not, I'm gonna strip back all the primer on the other side and go straight to bare metal and see if that was the problem. So we got a couple of steps we have to take. Let's hope for the best. The other thing I'm gonna do, just in case this was a problem last week as far as the ground, is I'm gonna try to, where's a good spot? I'm gonna try to sand back this weld through primer and put the ground on bare metal and see if that gives better conductivity to what we're doing. Maybe that was causing a problem. So let's try that out as well. So it's definitely different on the actual piece. And I wonder if I'm not getting a good ground. So it's not bad. It's certainly performing better than it was before. I had trouble getting an arc started on the end, and that looks terrible. But as I got further along, it looks like penetration got better as I went along. Oh, there's a hole there. Oh, that's the hole from, okay, that's fine. So it looks like it has good penetration in the corner. This is the toughest part, is getting up in this corner. I don't know if I can show you this. And don't mind the discoloration. That's really not what's critical. Is down in here between the edge of the subframe connector and the frame rail, down in that corner is where I'm trying to penetrate the weld. Had trouble getting the spark at first over here, but as it was coming along, it actually seemed to get better as I was going, and then I got more into a groove over here. I think I got very good penetration on this side. This doesn't look very good, and penetration doesn't look great here, but it looks like I got good penetration on this side, even though everything was covered with weld-through primer. So I think that's going to be fine. Never mind these weird, ugly-looking, these are from last week. I think that's going to be fine. When I grind that back smooth, it'll actually not look so bad. But it's certainly not going anywhere. And because I have penetration all the way around the perimeter, plus 4 plug welds on either side, I think I'm going to be fine. Let me see if I can do this top one and see what that looks like with the 030 wire. That's not bad, although I missed the hole a little bit. And I managed to plug up my nozzle again. Brilliant. It's slow going when you don't know what you're doing. Well, the spot welds look good. The spot welds look like they're supposed to look. The bead on the bottom certainly looks better than it had been before, even though I had trouble at the end here and trouble here. I probably should have done a tack weld here to give myself something visually to see when I came around the corner to stop. I didn't do that, so that looks pretty ugly. So I'm going to have to grind that back so it doesn't look so bad. But certainly there's enough penetration into the steel in order to hold that pretty solid. So now I have to flip this whole thing around to work on the other side without killing myself, falling on the ground. Okay, how move this way. Whew. I'm telling you, it's quite the process. This is not Legos, and this is not an erector set, for those who are old enough to know what that is. So hopefully, from what I have learned, this will probably go smoother, hopefully. Now there's a pretty significant gap in between these two plates and this plates. So I'm going to see if I can't bang on this to bring those gaps, especially on here, is really bad. So fire in the hole. Don't like a duck it did anything. Yeah, I don't think that did anything at all. Pull this off again. Try to get it in the right spot. I think we had it before. which is close to that hole but not on it. And switching to a rubber mallet. See if we can get this seated the way we did the other one. And that's too close. So, take it off. I don't know if there's really that much of a issue as it relates to, oh, you know what I could do? I could try to bang this on the ground and see if that's better, more helpful. Let's see if that does anything significant to this gap without smashing my feet. Let's see if that closed the gap at all. The door closed on me. Let's see if that did something other than just make a bunch of noise. Oh yeah, that did something. Because now it's going to be tougher to get it on, but that's okay. That's good. Actually, that did a lot. And that means fewer gaps in between here and there. That looks good. Yep, gap is a little smaller on one side. This one's still kind of significant, but not as bad as it was before. So that might give us hope. I think what I'm going to do first, since I had pretty good success, is I think I'm going to start with the plug welds first. This ought to be fun. Let's try this. Yep, that looks pretty good. That's all the way down. That's all the way down. That's all the way down as far as it's going to go. All right, let's see what we can do. Okay, that's not bad. 2 for 2. 3 for 3. 4 for 4. 5 for 5. All right, that's good. That makes me very happy. Now, I hope that they penetrated. We'll do the other side first, and then we'll worry about the edge. Can we do it again? I don't know. Let's try. Okay, that was pretty good. Okay, that was pretty good. Not bad. Things are certainly working better than they were last week. And I'm just wondering if it was simply a matter of changing the wire size. Let's get to this top edge first. Actually, let's do this plug weld on top. That's the sound that you're looking for. Okay, so let's get this top edge. And now we'll do in between and see how that looks. That looks so much better than it did last week. It's a little fat, but it's because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm really not that good at this, but it's got penetration. It's a little fat, but it's got penetration. All right, so let's do this side from here to here. Uh-oh. We made a mess. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, here we go. It's ugly, but it works. It's definitely welding much better now than it was before. Let's get this side.
Boy, that one's ugly. I was probably doing the wrong movement on that one. But there's a gap on this side, like I said. So that's always going to struggle because of that gap. But this certainly looks much better than that. The sound is better. And let's see if I can do back in this corner. Super fat! Well, I couldn't tell whether I was getting penetration on both sides, so I did a second pass. And the sound seemed to level out better on the second pass. So, I think what I might have to do is go to here and then come back in order to be able to get that edge. That's super fat weld right there. All right, let's see what I can get accomplished on this side.
Okay, well, that should give you no confidence whatsoever to learn how to weld. But on a plus, they are as ugly as they can get. Ooh, I got a nice burn in hole there. That's pretty. And yep, pretty ugly. Gonna be a lot of grinding back to making it not so bad, but they did penetrate, and they are functional. These are just horrible angles. I'm gonna blame it on the angles. I think that's what I'm gonna blame it on the angles. That's what I'm gonna do. Now there's two little plates you're supposed to put on the back of here and here, but they obviously need to be trimmed down. So I'm going to kind of put that off and kick that down the road a little bit. But yeah, so now comes the part about kind of grinding this down back to smoothness so it doesn't look so nasty. And then throwing some primer on it. So that's what we're going to do next. That's why you don't make fat welds, because then you got to grind it out of them to get them back down to where they're supposed to be. And that is no fun. Okay. Hope this doesn't blow up my shop.
man.
So, of all the ways to install Global West subframe connectors, this is certainly one way. I would say don't be afraid of the process. It just takes time and patience and practicing on scrap to get your technique right. These certainly aren't the prettiest welds in the world, but both subframe connectors are in fact installed with welds that have penetrated the metal behind it. And yeah, so then the car is infinitely stronger than it was prior to this, especially in this motion. Now, the reason that I chose these over any other subframe connectors was, number one, roll cages and most custom-built car chassis and frames are built with round tubing. It is superior in strength torsionally to square tubing. The other thing I really liked about these is that they're custom for convertibles, and they still allow for a minimal amount of ground clearance loss with that strength. The next thing I can tell you that caused me to really want to get these is you really are not supposed to be jacking up your car by the frame rails. You're really supposed to be using the pinch welds. Well, installing these gives you another jacking point that's super strong and does not damage the car. So you could put a jack under here, you could put a jack under here, and you're not damaging the frame rail, you're not damaging the pinch weld, and you're not stressing any part of the car structurally. All of the weight is being supported by the subframe connector. So that's the reason why I chose these. I'm not getting paid for this endorsement. I paid full retail for these, did not get a discount, did not request a discount, did not ask for any type of sponsorship. I studied all the different possible subframe connectors, and these were the ones that I chose. So our next step is going to be to take a nap and cleaned the garage, put everything back. It's raining outside, and feel accomplished about what we were able to do last weekend and this weekend. I believe that we're able to get the Arc Captain MIG welder dialed in properly for what we're trying to use it for. My technique is still not there, especially anything upside down is just awful. But most vertical stuff and horizontal stuff, I think I've gotten that down pretty good. So I feel confident going forward that a lot of the things, including the plug welds that I did, I'm very happy with the plug welds, and I'm glad I did them so that I could get a practical application of them before we get to exclusively plug welds on other parts of the cars. And I believe they added additional structural strength to the installation of these subframe connectors. So from Project 21F, Parts Unknown, and all of my friends and sponsors and those who are supporting this channel and supporting this project, I certainly thank you. And it's on to the next adventure.